Hey, 7th graders, for your activity today, you guys are going to be playing the carbon cycle game. So the carbon cycle is a little new to you guys and we'll be studying it over the next week, but really what we've learned so far in class has really set a good foundation for you guys to understand a large chunk of the carbon cycle. So in chapter 1 of this unit, we talked about photosynthesis, where we actually change carbon from carbon dioxide in the air, and then plants take that in, they go through a process called photosynthesis, and they change that carbon dioxide into energy storage molecules. So our carbon changes from the atmosphere into the plants where it's now an energy storage molecule. Okay, two things can kind of happen from here. Either the plant can use their own energy storage molecules to go through cellular respiration, where they can get energy to grow, reproduce, repair themselves, whatever they need energy for. They use cell respiration to take those energy storage molecules, which has our carbon in it, and turn it back into carbon dioxide to go back in the atmosphere. The other thing that can happen is an animal, like a human or a deer, can come along and eat that plant as an energy storage molecule. They take in that energy storage molecule into their bodies, and then they go through the same process of cellular respiration, where they change that carbon in the energy storage molecule back into carbon dioxide, which is breathed out and released into the atmosphere. So there's kind of one little cycle of, taking carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, turning it into an energy storage molecule, and then using cellular respiration to turn it back into carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. So that's kind of one little part of the cycle we have, but there's so much more to the carbon cycle than that. So that's what we're going to explore today. So your learning target, I can identify several ways carbon is moved around an ecosystem, because it's a lot more than just photosynthesis and cell respiration. All right, so on slide 2, you guys have the link to your carbon cycle game, which I'm going to open and show you guys in a second. But first, I want to show you guys the rest of the assignment, so as you play the game, you kind of know what to expect. Okay, you guys will play 20 turns of this game. And on slide 3, you guys are going to insert your own image of your final screen after you win. Okay, so this is mine. I'm going to delete it. You guys won't have this available to you right now, but you guys can see what it looks like. So when you guys take a screenshot of it, I want to be able to see the final score. I want to see what team won, and I want to see right here that 20 turns were taken. Okay, and then on slide 4, you guys will answer this question. Other than photosynthesis, where plants remove carbon from the atmosphere, and cell respiration, where animals, plants, and other organisms add carbon to the atmosphere, what is one more way carbon is moved through the ecosystem? Describe where it was and where it was moved to as well. So you're going to tell me what the process is called, and then where was the carbon, and then what is it changed into, where does it move to? Okay, so really that's the bulk of this assignment, and then you guys will be done. Let's go back up to slide 2, where we have the link to our game. Here is our carbon cycle game, and hopefully I draw a good hand for you guys so I can show you guys the quickest and most appropriate way to play this game versus just having a bunch of wrong cards. All right, so to get started, you guys will click play game. And you guys kind of have this weird intro that you guys can watch if you want, or you guys can just skip it. There's also a tutorial. If my instructions don't make sense to you, you guys can play along with the computer for the tutorial. But you guys will choose single player, and you need to choose 20 turns. So you will need to play this game for 20 turns, and then once you guys have finished your 20 turns, you'll have that shot at the end where you need to screenshot and add it to your assignment. All right, so I am the red team, or you guys will be the red team, and you are playing against the computer, which is the blue team. And your goal is to get the most points. How you get points is by moving your little red carbon atoms right here into the target area. So if I look at my little game board, the blinking area is the target area. And as we play through this, that target area will move. Okay? On the left, you guys will have 5 cards, and you guys can also see kind of what the blue team has as well. If you guys really want to be strategic, you guys can kind of predict maybe what moves the blue team will make. But I really just worry about my own team and what cards I have. So if you guys click or hover on a card, you guys can kind of see what 2 zones of the game board are highlighted. And for the first couple of rounds, you will also see the arrow or the direction in which that carbon's going to move. So if I were to play this card, I'd be moving carbon from deep in the earth to this fuel. Okay, or for instance, if I play this card, Plant Respiration, this is where plants do cellular respiration for energy, I'd be moving carbon from the energy storage molecules in the plants back into carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Okay, after 3 turns, those arrows go away, but your regions will still stay highlighted. You'll just have to figure out which direction the carbon's gonna move. All right, so let's address this blinking area. So what my goal is going to be is try to move my red carbons into the Earth's surface, or to move the other team's blue carbons out of the Earth's surface. At the end of each player's turn, then it'll total up how many carbons were in the right spot, and you guys will get points based on that. All right, so for instance, if I look through my cards, I might say, all right, I can move my carbon, the red carbon, from the plants. They die, and then the carbon that was in them as ESMs is now just found in the Earth's surface. So I'm going to select that card. I'm going to choose which carbons I want to use. I want to use my own, and I'm going to hit play card. And you'll notice that one of my red carbons moved to the target zone. Okay. Blue team just made their turn. You guys can see that they moved some carbons from the atmosphere into the plants. And then I can look at mine and say, all right, which move do I want to make? Okay, I might not have any cards that help me out right now. Okay, so if that's the case, if you guys have some, you guys can just play a random card. You can try to predict what the blue team's going to use, but I'm going to maybe try to move some carbons of the blue teams out of this region into the atmosphere. Okay, all right, so I get a new card, and I look at it and it says, all right, eat your veggies. Let's see here. That's not really going to help me. Plant respiration, that doesn't help me. Ocean deposits, that might get some carbons of mine into a position where I can pull them out of the deep in the earth to the Earth's surface. So let's play that card. Play it for the red team. See what the blue team does. All right. All right, so after 3 turns, you guys will get this little message down here that says, hey, to make things interesting, we're going to stop showing you in which direction each event affects the carbon. Good luck. So you guys hit next. Now you can continue playing. What I'll see when I look at a card is that it shows me the zones, but it doesn't show me the direction. So I'm going to actually have to read the card. So notice our target has changed. So now we're looking at deep into the earth, which I really wish I just didn't move anything out of there. Oh, wow. All right, so let's take a look. This card is going to be a good card to play either way. So it says petroleum gets harvested from deep within the earth and then refined so we can use it for fuel. So in that card, the way it describes it is we're going to be moving stuff out of our target and over to this fuel. Obviously, I don't want to do that with my carbon. I want to move my opponent's carbon out. So I'd hit select card, blue, and notice now that the opponent's blue is out of the target. So I kind of just kicked one of his points out. Okay, so you guys will keep playing this. Right now we're on turn 4. You guys will keep playing this until again you guys have finished your 20 turns and there's a winner that's decided. Okay, and again after a couple turns you guys will see that the target zone will change, so make sure you guys are paying attention to where your target zone is. And then again you guys are looking at finishing up this game with 20 turns. Okay, so once you have finished playing, it'll give you guys the congratulatory banner over here, and you guys will need to use your snipping tool if you're using something other than a Chromebook to cut that little area out, copy and paste it into your 3rd page of your slide right here instead of this picture. Or if you guys are using a Chromebook, you guys will hold the Control and the Shift button down, and then you'll click that little key right above the number 6. Okay, then that image will pop up in the bottom right-hand corner. You'll say copy to clipboard, and then you'll come into slide 3 and you'll hit Control V, and that will paste your image here. Again, I should see who won the game. That's for extra credit. I should also see that you have taken 20 turns, and I should be able to see your score. Okay. Now that you guys kind of have some experience, you'll come back and you'll add this question. Other than photosynthesis and cell respiration, what are some other ways carbons can move around our ecosystems? We learned a lot about them. Really, if you guys look back at the game, there's a lot of different cards. So maybe soil respiration, you guys would talk about how carbon moves there. Herbivorism, we've kind of talked about that one a little bit. Plant respiration, we've talked about that. You guys could talk about erosion would be one. So ocean diffusion, any of those would be really good ones. We've really focused on plant respiration already, so don't use that. We focused a little bit on herbivorism, so animals eating plants for energy storage molecules. We talked about photosynthesis and then cell respiration right here, animal respiration. So do something other than those items right there. So soil respiration, erosion, ocean diffusion, and there's a lot more outside of that, just depending on what the cards say. All right, so I hope you guys had fun playing this. If you guys didn't win the first time and you want the extra credit, go back and play again. And then you guys are done. Go ahead and hand this in, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.